All right, front page on the post show for the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday show. The Lady Dukes of Duquesne Atlantic 10 Championship, Richmond, Virginia. Right now, 4:52. They're underway in the third quarter, and they are trailing the number one seed Dayton 40-32.
Yeah, the Dukes had a real nice first half. Got behind a little bit by the end of the first half. It looks like they're having some trouble hanging in there. Need to get a little bit of a run here before the end of the third quarter, or it could be trouble.
We're talking about tournament basketball. Robert Morris lost in the NEC tournament to Mount St. Mary. They're done. Duquesne, of course, Atlantic 10. They're going to be playing at PPG Arena this coming Wednesday. Pitt had a really tough time of it yesterday, and now they're waiting to play Georgia Tech. And you look at West Virginia, you look at Ohio State, you look at Penn State. So we're looking at the Mountaineers, the only ones really in this region going to the dance.
Yeah, it seems like that's the and they may have a legitimate run to go and do some things with Bobby Huggins there. And maybe we need some of these teams need to attract a personality like Huggins, Bob. It's the only thing that we can maybe do.
Need some players, that's for sure.
Yeah.
You gotta start
What about the Pitt program, guys? Where are we right now?
getting close to rock bottom, if you ask me. Discipline problems with the players, new coach, maybe having trouble getting his message across, establishing an identity. It's going to be, I think, a tough couple of years for Pitt.
They did get an announcement today, Bob. They signed a kid from Polk Junior College who's a pretty good scorer, actually led the nation at the junior college level in scoring. Point guard who can also play the two position. So maybe a little bit of a good news for Pitt because they did play this entire season without really much of a true point guard at all.
Okay, NFL Combine, you're just back from there. How'd the kids from Pitt do?
Everybody did pretty well, and nobody blew it away, but you didn't expect anybody to blow it away. Scott Orndorff, the best 40-yard time report was 4.77, which is okay, middle of the road for tight ends. Nate Peterman had a nice 40-yard dash, 4.84 for quarterbacks. That's pretty impressive. The big guys, the big lugs, Biznavati and Dorian Johnson. Dorian Johnson able to run a 5.3 coming off of an ankle issue, and he really put and he's probably going to be the higher of the two as far as draft picks, being a versatile guy, can play all of those interior guard positions. Biz is probably going to have to move to the interior also, so those guys should be middle round picks.
Bobby.
Yeah, well, it's really good news for the NFL Network to have all this on TV. You can while away the hours.
You know what? I know. These are the sands and the hourglass.
Well, you also did get John Ross run the fastest 40-yard dash in the history of the National Football League Combine, a 4.22. So that was interesting.
That is very interesting. Pirates today, just underway, George Steinbrenner Field, taking on the New York Yankees. It's spring training, but it is the Pirates and Yankees.
Yeah, Bob, have you been to that George Steinbrenner Field? That's a little bit of a palace as far as spring training to go, right?
It was the king. It should be.
What they did was build a miniature Yankee Stadium in Florida. They play a lot of night games to attract bigger ratings and everything. It's a little over the top, in my opinion.
Sure.
It takes away from the laid-back baseball that used to be spring training, but nobody plays that anymore now. You got naming rights and the whole thing. So
93.7 The Fan, WPIL championship. Pretty much went as everybody thought, but there's always a few to talk about.
Yeah, a little bit disappointed that there weren't any real down-to-the-wire type games as you looked at all the scores, and most all of them were 10-point games. Some of the blue bloods of Western Pennsylvania basketball, though, coming in. Some of the kids working their way through. Paul Zeiss's daughter, Haley, at North Allegheny, getting a chance to perform at a high level. Hooker from Newcastle, whose brother is going into the NFL draft very high, winning a championship. And Anu McConnell on the rise, the young lady who is a freshman at Chartiers Valley, getting a chance to win a WPIL championship.
Pittsburgh Penguins today at 5 taking on Buffalo. They brought some new defense to the team, but you think there's a reason for that.
Yeah, I'm concerned that what's going on with Chris Letang. I mean, this will be the 5th game in a row that he's out. They must have known something. Otherwise, why do you trade for 2 defensemen at the trading deadline?
And the World Golf Championships are underway. You've got Justin Thomas in there. You've got Rory McIlroy, Phil Mickelson, and Dustin Johnson right now, the greatest player in the game, as we're about a month or so away from the Masters. Mexico City, Golf Channel, all good.
Bob, you were talking about an interesting thing with Dustin Johnson hitting a ball into a tree that didn't come down. Are you allowed to shake that tree to get the ball out of the tree? That would be improper, correct?
Impeding, yeah. It's against the rules to to do that. And he had to take a stroke, and after he puts another ball in play and he's walking up to the green, the ball falls out of the tree. So now, I have seen guys try to hit a ball out of the tree, but he couldn't even find it.
Right.
It was up there.
Anything else before we put a wrap on this show after the show?
I think it's been a pretty good weekend show here on the air earlier. I think we pretty much touched on everything.
All Americans, 82nd Airborne, who up?
Drive On, that's the name of the book from this guy, Bob Dvorak. Have a great rest of your day and enjoy your week. So long from CBS Radio World Headquarters in Green Tree and the crew from the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show every week, 11 to 1. News Radio 1020, KDK. Good day.